What makes me snicker? In 2020, I was ready. I knew I was a nature girly, and now I'm just a child of the infinite mother. But it makes me snicker because I met this person, and that's where I remembered that I can build my own home. That's when I experienced the false narrative of a twin flame, because I've always been whole from the start. That's why I say false narrative. My infinitely and eternally for eternity is a whole, introspective, infinite being who's gentle, strong, kind, all the contradictions in their balance, period. Feminine, masculine, dark, light aspects. But I will be out here. Um, there's misinformation that people who grow plants, they don't like the nightshade plants, which are tomato plants. Not don't like them. False evidence, pure and real, about wild plants. And sure, but I be out here eating stuff. So I just saw that infinite being who does stuff about infinite mommy, and they're like, crab apples are not poisonous apples. They said, I'm sorry, but the conditioning's lied to you, and it happens a lot. So anyway, but there was a pink crab apple, and it probably was just ripe and delicious. They're really tart. I'd love to use them for my sour stuff instead of the chemicals we use to make our children's stuff sour. Anyhow, tomatoes. So the cherry tomatoes, there were like 12 little tomatoes on this plant that Infinite Mommy planted, and I ate them. Um, there's peaches, and as soon as they're ready, I plan on it. All the ones I can get, I'm gonna dehydrate them and everything. But the mulberry trees, the pecans, I'll be eating because, well, it's my Infinite Mommy. We eat these things. We eat stuff that comes in bags that is called food that had come had to come from Infinite Mommy, but it don't. Sometimes it just comes from another bag and another box, and and we just get to do better. So just be conscious of what you're consuming in every facet, because it creates matter inside and around your ass. We got these infinite beings who we want to. We have these safe spaces where we will congregate with other infinite beings who feel disabled like us, or who feel chronically ill like us, who are chronically bitching like us, who are chronically sick like us, who chronically are dealing with what we're dealing with, and what we're actually doing is sitting in the same shift, not using it as fertilizer for our growth and expecting to grow from it. But if you're always around somebody who says they can't, and you want to start thinking you can, what will you continue to think as? Because you're continuously around folks. They gonna say and project from their internal splits that they can't. So unless you have that exemplary strong willpower, which you have yet chosen to see and show yourself, because you're still hanging around those same people, like, how you gonna be getting recipes from your great grandma who was chronically ill all the time and thinking that you're not going to follow in that person's footsteps? And we don't ever think about that, but like, if your chef's 300 pounds, baby, you're gonna be 300 pounds. If your herbalist is 500 pounds, you're gonna be 500 pounds. And just because somebody's skinny don't mean that they are healthy. Like the cognitive dissonance of it all be real, and we don't have to. Look for infinite beings that ain't selling nothing. Look for infinite beings that's existing. Look for infinite beings that's willing to look at themselves and say, thank you for that experience. Because any infinite being that's around, you failed, you made a mistake, or actually, I've never made a mistake or failure in my existence. I've succeeded at everything that I've experienced innately, including when I did drugs, including when I was an alcoholic. That was a success. I successfully came through that experience knowing that I don't need that shift, and I use it as fertilizer for my growth. So any infinite being who's continuously, I failed, I did this, I did, I can't exchange energy with you. That's gonna create some little fuck shit reality on the conjunction of what I'm creating here, and I'm a generational abundance maker. So if I'm continuously hanging around infinite beings, it doesn't matter if I've known you for 55 seasons and you steady saying you can't, or you continuously saying that you BROKE, that's not a space for me. And I will uptune and hold that frequency with you. You will rubber band me energetically in that same space just because I want to have somebody to talk to, or I want to claim that I have family, or I want to claim that I have a sister or a brother or a best friend or an auntie or a job, or allow that shift to rubber band you if you want to. But after a while, the infinite mommy, in your experience, you'll grow out of it, and then you'll get forcefully projectiled from it. So when I say rubber band, you can even think of slingshot, but you know rubber band. For some reason, we need extra visuals, and I don't mind. So let's do it. Let's do it. Do I got enough minutes? So I got enough seconds? I always do. But after a while, you're just going to break, because we want to keep ourselves in these little bitty spaces. And a slingshot, you can get some length, and you still going to pew! So you pew into your next expansive space, or are you wanting to sit and fester in the festa? Ugh.